Let's dig into it with tonight's Power Panel. Democratic strategist Isaac Wright and Fox News contributors Katie Pavlich and Charlie Hurt. Welcome to all of you.
Shannon. Hey, Shannon.
Good to be here.
Okay, Charlie, your take on this?
Well, already taxes eat up half of the gross domestic product every year in France, and when you go do something like this, everybody loves the environment, but the fact remains there are real, people have the real effects of these things on people, whether it's the new taxes on diesel or whatever. It has huge impacts, and so everybody was shocked and surprised when Donald Trump decided to bail out of the Paris Accord, but you're seeing, in the streets right now, you're seeing these people that are probably would like for them to bail out on it.
Yeah, well, and the reporting on the ground is that these are people who are mainly suburban in nature. They have to drive. They can't just rely on public transport and that kind of thing. They feel like Macron is sort of divorced from the reality of what they're dealing with every day. Here is what Rush Limbaugh said, though, on the way that this has been reported, because it's been going on for a while, not just this past weekend.
The American media doing its best to downplay all of this because the current rioters are protesting tax increases Macron has put on gas and diesel to fight climate change. He has been specific as to why the carbon tax is in place to fight climate change.
Isaac, the fact is that they've tried this twice in Washington state in the last couple of elections to have this sort of first carbon tax idea here in the U.S., and voters there rejected it roundly. They're not going to like it if it happens here either.
I mean, the problem with this is it should be an opportunity, right? If this is something that taxes the economy, that's the reverse of what it should be. This should be an opportunity to move into the green economy, to create millions of jobs, to avoid the pending decreases in our GDP that are tied, according to the Trump administration's own scientists, to climate change, right? This should be an opportunity to invest and grow the economy. That's the route that China has followed and invested over like $600 billion so far in creating new jobs. This should be an opportunity for us to take a role as a global leader and create jobs in this country by taking a lead on climate change.
Well, Katie, a lot of people are going to hear that and they're going to think the word Solyndra.
Well, first of all, as someone who was in China just last year, I can assure you that they have not gone green in any way, shape, or form. But the problem here, Shannon, is this. These green tax policies, these carbon tax ideas are sold as a way to help the entire world, the globe, become a better environment for all of us, when the truth is that it actually hurts the poor and the middle class the most. People like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Leonardo DiCaprio, Al Gore, they can afford to literally pay for their hypocrisy when it comes to them riding around in their private jets, selling TV networks to Al Jazeera, which of course is funded by Qatar and it's all oil money. They can afford it. The people who can't afford it are the working middle class and poor people in the country who need energy to not only just survive, but to also run their businesses. And so when these taxes are put on, they're put on from the elites who say it's for the better, telling people that as individuals, the government knows better about how their economy can function, rather than allowing for innovation and new ideas to come up through the private sector and a free market system to clean up the environment. There's a big difference between pollution and climate change, and we see all the time these bureaucrats across the world doing more and more to try and take control not just of the environment, but of people's lives under the guise of cleaning up the environment.
All right, so let's talk about one of the newest pushes, and this is going to be on Capitol Hill. This is Congresswoman-elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who, with other Democratic incoming or current members, has put together what she wants to call a Green New Deal. Here's how they're rolling it out.
This is about a new deal for the United States of America. Because in every moment when our country has reached the depths of darkness, in every moment when we were at the brink, at the cusp of an abyss, and we did not know if we would be capable of saving ourselves, we have. We've done it.
Charlie, you seem a little skeptical.
Yeah, a little bit. The problem here is that, of course, she's not going to see any real effect of these things. She's not going to lose wages because of this. Her cost of living isn't going to go up the way it goes up for people who depend on being able to get around for a living. They all see the cost of everything go up for those people. And so, if everybody in Washington and in New York wanted to agree to take the same hit that the poor and the middle class take on things like this, then maybe it might be a little bit fairer playing field.
All right, I want to outline some of what they've talked about. The new Green Deal, some of the bullet points here: no fossil fuels in the U.S. within 10 years, 100% renewable energy, eliminate greenhouse gases, and also new infrastructure for coastal communities to deal with rising sea levels. Isaac, how realistic is that, seeing how they can't get a whole lot of big stuff done on Capitol Hill? That's a tall order.
Well, the resolution will put together 17 members of Congress who have not taken contributions from the oil industry to put together the details of the plan in an exact way of how that's all going to be accomplished. Now, those are all noble goals. What we're leaving out here is the point that the plan also dictates those jobs would be paying a living wage with health care benefits to American workers. We're talking about millions of jobs being created. And while I appreciate everybody's rhetoric on the panel, let's be honest with the folks watching right now for a minute. These are job-creating initiatives, right? You're talking about squeezing the middle class. We're talking about giving high-paying jobs for American workers. That's what this is about. That's what the new green economy is about. Countries around the globe have recognized that, are investing in it.
Well,
we have sacrificed, the Trump administration has sacrificed our country's leadership on the global stage on this issue and in this economy.
Let me bring Katie in here, because there are a lot of other places where this has been tried, like France, where people think it has not gone so well.
Look, there is a path forward for green energy and renewable resources. We've seen it in America through innovation and the private sector. But the truth is that the green economy in America can't stand on its own 2 feet. It needs billions of dollars of subsidies just to make sure that these, quote, jobs that are there are backed up by these talking points about how we need a green economy. The truth is that the United States of America is still, even though we pulled out of the Paris Accords, doing better on CO2 emissions than all of the European countries who are still in the Paris Accord. So the United States, as usual, is leading the way both in the economy and in innovation to make sure we have a cleaner environment. And the way to do that is not to force people to take all of their income, turn it over to the government so they can spend it on things like Solyndra and green energy that doesn't work in the private sector.
Something tells me we're going to have to
math there on something right now.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there, or we're going to get
$233 billion in federal spending on these natural disasters. It's cheaper to invest.
We got to leave it there. We're going to have to agree to disagree. Everyone, thank you very much for being on our power panel tonight. Good to see you.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.
All right, the nation comes together. Tomorrow, an American.